I know I did want to go into Miami below 300 pounds, and we're simply just not going to get there. Welcome back to another Real Talk Saturday bike ride. This is the last chance I have before the Miami Triathlon, which is next Saturday. And I'm really looking forward to it. Even though the content production has been off lately, the training rides have been happening, and I think I'm in pretty good shape to go into Miami. We're not doing anything fancy today. We're just out for a 60-minute Zone 2 bike ride. I don't know what the Motive app called for today. I haven't really been following it the last month or so. I've just sort of been freewheeling my training. Some more intense days, some slow days, some swimming, some running, some biking. And I'm hoping that the excitement of this race is going to reinvigorate my desire to produce the content for this channel. And I do think there's some real value in here. Maybe for you and certainly for future me. Let's talk about the training over the last couple of weeks. It's been going really well. It hasn't been as strict as I was leading up to Bracebridge, but the Bracebridge Triathlon was a big unknown for me. I had no idea what to expect. I had no idea if I would even be able to finish the race. I'm going into Miami with a lot more confidence. Even though it is a much longer race compared to Bracebridge, it's twice as long. But I'm also in much better shape, and I've been training for longer. We're now November 1st today. Started this journey in May, so we've had several months to get in better physical shape, and I am in the best shape of my life. Despite the fact my training has been a little less regimented over the last month or so, I feel like I'm in better shape for this race than I did for Bracebridge. I made it into the pool a couple of days ago. I did an open swim in Lake Clermont last week, so I've added some swimming back in. I wasn't sure what to expect there because I haven't been training my swimming. Was a bit apprehensive about Miami. I thought it was a 750 meter swim, but as I was familiarizing myself with the race course and layout, it's only a 0.3 mile. It's about 480 meters. So when I went out to Lake Clermont the other day, I thought to myself, let's go out and swim 500 meters and let's see how long it takes. Because Miami does have cutoff times. Cutoff time for the swim, 35 minutes. So I went down to Clermont, jumped in the water. That's where a lot of local triathlon groups do their open water training. They've got a series of buoys laid out, so it's a known distance. And it also gave me a chance to validate my watch. So I did an open water swim, and I did 520 meters in 18 minutes, according to my watch, which lined up with the markings on the buoys. So I'm well under the 30-minute cutoff time for 480 meters. And my heart rate, I don't think, well, I know it didn't go out of zone 2. I don't think it broke 118. There's lots left in the tank after that swim. I'm confident about the swim. They promised the water's clear, no alligators, so that's just another bonus. It also validates for me that that 400-meter swim at Bracebridge was 580 meters. Doing a lot of zone 2 bike riding because that's what the training's calling for. So we're doing today. I'm very confident that for 13 miles, it's not going to be a problem. As always, my concern is the run. I can go out and run 5K now. That's not a problem. And I can do it at a 9 and a 9.5 minute kilometer, which is slow, but it's consistent and I can keep it up. And I can usually keep it up with a heart rate below 136 beats per minute, which keeps me in zone 3. So whether or not I'm gonna be able to string all three of those together for a sub 2 hour finish at Miami, I'm cautiously optimistic. But I know I've put in the work and I know I'm ready for it, and I can't wait to get down there and do it. The weight loss experiment over the last few weeks hasn't, in all honesty, gone that well as far as the scale is concerned. My average weight for October, the last measurement was yesterday, was around 318 pounds, which is down 3.5 pounds from my average weight in September. So it is working, it's slow, but it is progressive and it is consistent, and the weight is staying off. So overall, I'm happy with it. I know I did want to go into Miami below 300 pounds, and we're simply just not going to get there. And maybe in hindsight, that was an unrealistic goal, because in all honesty, I don't think it's going to make any difference. It just would have been nice. But Clermont's coming up in a few more months, so we'll see what we can do. But last week was interesting. Again, there's the huge swings that I need to deal with. I was on track. You wake up one morning and say there's a 6-pound jump. That happened last week. But I've gotten past the point where I'm worried about those because I've settled into the mentality that what I'm doing has to work. Eating carnivore has to work. It can't not work. 4 to 6 hours a week of triathlon training has to make me stronger. It has to. It can't possibly not work. So I'm much more, I don't want to say satisfied with the lack of rapid progress, but I'm okay with it because this is a long-term journey. I have the rest of my life to keep getting in better shape and keep losing weight. So if it takes a little bit of time, I'm okay with that. 5 days later, I clocked 314.2, which is my lowest weight ever. So I'm winning. I'm not counting calories anymore. I don't feel I need to. I spent 2 months doing it, and it's really given me a solid understanding of how much food I do need and how much food I can have. And that was really the point of that exercise. The only thing that I would like to try next, and I haven't decided if today is the right day, but I've kind of put it in my mind that I'm going to do a weekend water fast. The timing may not be ideal with a triathlon, but I'm okay. I've got plenty of stored calories. But I do like the idea of fasting. The science is there to prove that it works, it is healthy, and all things for your body. I have done it in the past, as you well know if you follow the channel. I've talked about it before. It's worked. Sardine fasts, 72 hours, change your life. Haven't done a water only fast, but I'm about 16 hours into it right now, so we're just getting started. And we might see what happens. But talking to the wife, that's something we want to build into our regular weekly routine, is a minimum 36-hour fast. Both for health reasons and, more importantly, spiritual reasons. Fasting is biblical. It's a practice that we should take more seriously. I know I hinted at this in the last video I posted. The content production part of this process is getting a little repetitive and a little bit boring. Even if that's the way it's supposed to be, that's fine. But the editing process is becoming a burden. Like, these bike rides are an hour long, but it probably takes me 4 to 6 hours to produce the content. And that's time that I don't have. And I don't particularly enjoy the process. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy riding the bike and making the videos. But I do not enjoy the editing process. I know there's an element of work involved in it, but I don't want it to feel like work. I want it to feel like it's fun. And then to deal with the monotony, I'm going to start adding in some other content throughout the week. Saturday bike rides will stay the same, but I've really started to develop an interest in bike maintenance, mostly because my 320 pounds is putting an incredible amount of stress on my bicycle, and I want to learn to maintain it and repair it and fix it myself. So I've been studying that, and I've got an idea for a few videos showing some of the basic stuff that I'm doing. I also want to get into custom wheel building, particularly for heavy riders. I've been exploring that because I do need to replace these lightweight 24 spoke wheels on this Trek Domane, because the spokes are starting to clunk and I just can't keep them tight because they're carrying way more weight than they were ever designed to. And another thing that I want to do, I want to start doing some 5K runs as part of my training, because my main run is usually 45 minutes to an hour. Anyway, it's usually a zone 2 run with some interval, and I find I do about 4 to 5K. So why not break it up a little bit, and on the weekends, instead of doing a run around the trailer park or down the street, go join up a charity 5K. Go do that for my training run. Why not? I think the running is the area where I have the most room to improve. You know, my 9-minute kilometer, man, I'd love to get that down to a 6. Not that that's going to make any difference for my triathlon finishing times. I mean, yeah, it'll shave 10 or 15 minutes off, I would think. But it'd just be cool to be able to move that fluidly and that quickly through space. And if I'm going to go out and run anyway, I might as well go do something interesting while I'm doing it. Be nice to have some people to run with. Let's gather up a couple of 100 people at a 5K charity race somewhere. Let's go do it that way. Be some great content for the channel too. So with that in mind, I'm going to register for my first 5K turkey trot, and that's going to be in Key West. Because after Miami, we're headed down to the Keys for 3 weeks. We'll be there for American Thanksgiving, and there's a turkey trot, and I think we're going to go do that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to see how my first 5K turns out. So let's chat a bit more about the Miami Triathlon. See if I can set some goals for myself, because that worked well for Bracebridge. Now for the Bracebridge Triathlon, I happened to be there, so I was able to go out and sort of preview the course. That video is on the channel. If you guys remember, we sort of walked through it, laid out some goals. I don't have the chance to do that for Miami. We don't leave here. We're in Orlando right now. We won't leave here until Thursday, and we get to Miami Everglades, I think Thursday. Race is on Saturday. I don't know if I'll have a chance to go preview the course at all, but I know the distances. So let's talk about that for a second. We know the swim is 1/3 of a mile. The goal is to finish that in less than 20 minutes. I'm hoping for 18, but let's say 20 minutes for nice round math. The bike ride is 13 miles, which is about 20K. And I know I can comfortably do that in 60 minutes. And I can probably do it in 45 if I push it. But let's say 60 minutes. We're in an hour 20. The 5K, I can do that run in 50 minutes. So that puts us at 2 hours and 10 minutes, not counting transition times. And that's at a pace I know is completely sustainable and 100% doable. That's not good enough for a goal. So I think my completion time, including transitions for Miami, is sub 2 hours. Of course, the goal is to complete and not compete, so finishing the race is also, let's keep that in mind. Because it is twice as long as Bracebridge. And I did Bracebridge, my goal was an hour 10. And I did it in an hour 7, an hour 8. So that would translate to 2 hours and 16 minutes. So let's shave 15 minutes, 16 minutes off that Bracebridge time. And let's do the Miami Man Triathlon in under 2 hours. I've been pondering that here for the last 10 minutes. What am I focusing on this week? I think the answer is just being consistent and not overdoing it. An injury the week before the triathlon would not be helpful. And if I haven't done the work leading up to this week, pushing super hard this week is not going to make up for lost time. A triathlon isn't a college exam. You can't cram for it the night before. I know I've put the work in. Could I have put more work in? Yep, absolutely. But that's nothing that's going to bother me now. Because with 7 days to go, I can't change any of it. But I'm happy with it. I think it's going to go well. So we're going to focus on consistency, training. We're going to taper it off, I think, a little bit. We don't want to injure ourselves. We want to make sure our nutrition is on point, our hydration is on point. And it's, again, I know it's a sprint triathlon. We're not walking into an Ironman here. But success is nothing more than stacking good habits, one on top of the other. So whether it's a sprint or whether it's an Ironman, good habits are what are going to get you there. And then we'll see what that means for the future of my channel. I do have some ideas. I have some cool things I want to share with you guys that I'm doing. I'm also thinking about adding a few friends to Facebook so I can make this content a little easier for some of you guys to find. Any of you that know me know that I pride myself in the fact that I have only one friend on Facebook. That's my wife. It was kind of forced. I didn't have a choice. I don't use Facebook. I hate Facebook. But if it's a platform that helps me get the message out there and share the content, maybe it might be worth doing. So I've got some ideas, I've got some plans. We'll talk about them a little bit more in the Miami race recap video. Because anybody that followed me since Bracebridge knows that there will not be a Saturday Real Talk bike ride video during the Miami Triathlon. If you have any ideas, any content you'd like to see, any direction you'd like to see me go in, I'm open to any and all ideas at this point. I make this content for me as a way to take notes, monitor my pacing, track my progress, but I also make it for you guys. I hope you learned something from it. I know many of you already have. You've told me as much, and those comments really are helpful. They really keep me going. We're a little low on the heart rate, so I'm going to turn the camera off here and get that up a little bit higher. We're 35 minutes into the ride. Like I said, we're going to go for an hour, but I won't drag you guys along and punish you with all that. So I'm going to sign off right now. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, any suggestions you have. So I appreciate that very much. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye for now.